what's going on? The one and only Coach Cloud. We got another special guest. This guy right here, he's one of those guys that he just kept getting better and better over the year. Took different routes than most players did. Only transferred twice in his college career, but like it was just to make a move up a level and moving up definitely did him good, especially for his pro career. I got another Midwest guy. We're gonna just keep it with the Midwest so far. Dominique Brewington, aka DJ Brewington, man. You know, he's a bucket combo guard. He's athletic. He can play defense. He can do it all. So, like I said, man, real special guest. Went to Cincinnati Hughes and Don Prep. So, like I said, definitely ready to hear his story and definitely to learn. Like I said, players definitely like, share, subscribe at Cloud Hoops Consulting YouTube channel, IG page, and Cloud9_talk on IG. Like I said, we got all content, skits, and all that coming soon, though. But like I said, definitely tap in and definitely take a chance to listen to DJ's story. And like I said, he's still killing it. Just finished his rookie year in top league, Lithuania. So average 13, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So he's a stat sheet stuffer. You know, he does it all on both ends and just more than scoring, getting his teammates involved. So definitely stay tuned. All is good, man. Long time to talk to, man. Appreciate you coming on,
Man,
man. How everything been your way, man?
I'm glad to be back.
How long you been back in the state so far?
It's since like the 21st of July. I mean
Oh,
June
June.
21st.
Oh, okay, about almost a month. Oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's what's
hmm
up. When did you initially leave? Like last August or September?
Last August, I left super late. I didn't even have a gig until late. I had a whole bunch of opportunities, but I wasn't even. I don't know what was going on. I guess I was,
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't good enough or something. I don't know.
Nah, I wouldn't say that, man. Shit, the gig you got is better than a lot of people's second or third gigs for real, like with that in that league play. So you got your career off to a good start though in that league though. Where you playing it right now, or where you signed to this year?
Liga A over in Italy.
Okay,
About
man.
to go see
Congrats on
what
that.
that's like.
Yeah,
Appreciate
yeah,
you.
yeah. Food gonna be good, man. So like I said, better weather, better
That's what
scenery.
everybody keep talking about. Everybody talking about the food.
Yeah, yeah. So like I said, how was your rookie year though? Like just like on and off the court.
I'm gonna start with off the court because that was the most challenging part. If you've been playing your whole life, it's gonna take care of itself for real. So like, I had to adjust to the cultural difference, the language barrier, everything. So off the court was really what was getting me, and I was like real homesick. So it was a point in time. It was so many times where I thought I was gonna check out, but I just realized that it's always brighter on the other side. So I just kept going, but I ain't really think the coach was on me a little bit harder because it was certain defensive concepts I didn't adjust to right away. Um, I had to be more of a point guard instead of my scoring self, so I had to work on that. I just had to learn how to just be a more mature, complete player. So I had to get the off the court stuff together first, or it wasn't gonna work. So
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
once I locked in on that, the on the court stuff took care of itself. And then as far as on the court, what was the hardest for me at first, I would say was probably the physicality. Because even though I was physical enough, you got to know in what split seconds to be a certain type of physical. And those vet guards over there, those 30-plus-year-olds, they know those things. So they foul baiting me or they might hit me when I'm standing straight up and knock me off my driving lane. So those were the hardest things, honestly. I mean, unless I could throw in stuff like how the food kind of threw me at first, and I had to find my little pathway to eat and maintain my weight and stuff like that. But those for sure were the hardest things over there.
So when you say like foul baiting, because like I said, we try to educate young hoopers and just coaches and all that. So like explain some more about how the veteran guards will kind of manipulate the game, like as a rookie guard. You're like, what the heck? Like, what's going on? Like, what's
Man, the vets is so smart over there. So like, if when you playing defense, you got your hand in there, in their driving thing, and they do little things like rip through your hands, get the quick foul. like things I'm not paying attention to, or 9 times out of 10 I was faster than most of the guards over there. So if I'm faster, how do you work with what you got? They would just be more physical. So in a situation where I'm beating them to a spot, they'll probably kind of lower the short of me because I'm higher than them and just sell a little contact. And they used to rack up quick. I used to get too early fouls. And I'm like, okay, how can I stop this from happening? So I just had to find a way to play smarter because those older vets, they have to find a way to outdo the younger guys. So
Yeah, makes sense.
they're real good at it. So I had to adjust to that quick because I kept getting in foul trouble. And we had a backup point guard who was real good also. But with me being the primary ball handler, I had to stay on the floor as much as I could. Because if you look at the log, the splits, like my minutes was crazy. So I was out there. He was really using me because I was young and I had the stamina and all of that stuff. So I had to find a way to stay on the court. And those older guys was getting me bad. I thought I was too smart for my own good, but they were way smarter than me in that sense right there.
Yeah, and I remember when we was talking throughout the like I guess like the probably like the mid part of your rookie year, and we was just talking about just being more efficient and just not turning the ball over. And like I said, I think you did a hell of a job the second half of the season, just not being stuck in no man's land and just
Mhm.
making winning plays. Because like I said, the more you keep the game simple, simple things win. So like that's one thing for sure though. And what would you say the most underrated thing about European basketball that you didn't think like, hey, I didn't think about that?
What my coach said it used to throw me off. And it's crazy. I keep going back to the same. He said, know how to foul. So over there, when you get an advantage, they immediately foul you. Over here, we don't necessarily teach that because our rules are a little different. So with me being a transition guy, I think I'm finna go to the races. I'm getting a quick foul. They're gonna foul me real quick. Or so basically to sum it up, their IQ is way higher than what people may think because that has to make up for their athleticism. And not all of them are unathletic. I wouldn't say that. But they're necessarily not as gifted athletically as the imports that come over. So their IQ usually are very high because they learn all them things at a young age that we don't teach. So they be way ahead of us mentally.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. So, like I said, with the IQ, you just said Europeans are more high IQ from what you've seen so far. So, like,
Mhm.
what's your thoughts on today's basketball landscape with like the trainers? They just teaching more highlights than actual winning basketball.
Yeah, I'm Saudi because I feel like the old guys used to say like fundamentals are gonna go out the window one day. We don't pay attention to like the fundamentals as much as we should. It's a lot of holes in my game because even though I was probably taught the fundamentals, I don't utilize them. They're taught it from the ground up, like small things like this big shooting on a certain size hoop instead of shooting on a 10-foot rim, just to get your shooting mechanics down. I shot with two hands all the way until I was 19. So my shot was like that. So it just be a whole bunch of small things that they pay attention to since probably the age of 5 that we forget. These trainers over here, they teach a lot of one-on-one and ISO skills that don't really get utilized in the game because the game going so fast, unless you can just instinctively move your body a certain way to get what you want, it ain't gonna work.
Nah, you dropped
Because
the
you
gem.
gotta, yeah, you just gotta be able to translate into your game, and it can't even just always translate into your game. It has to translate into the style of game depending on the team you're playing. So some teams might be zone. Me, I'm just the okay shooter, so I got to find out how can I get to this spot to reel them in to make a certain pass, or what shots do I want out of this game because every game is going to be different. Like we need to start teaching those things a little more.
So now that you been a pro for a year now, so like when you train, what do you like look for as a trainer as a pro as you did when you was in college? Like, are you looking for more efficiency or like more game lob? Like, what do you like look for as in like your difference in your workouts now?
Honestly, anything that could lead to a more because I'm a sole believer in the mirror in between game. So anything that could kind of get me to those little spots, I'm with it. Anybody who's big on those things, whether it be a certain move, a certain type of screen, snake it, get to a spot, whatever the case may be, as long as it's getting to that in between game, no matter if it's for a mid range or a floater or even a drop off, I like those things, so I try to get to those things when I train, of course. And then, like I said, I'm just an okay 3 point shooter, so just really getting that up. And I was looking at some number breakdowns with me as a rookie. What a lot of rookies should know, they're going to look to throw you the ball with like 5 seconds left of the play breakdown, not 10, sometimes 10 if you're lucky. So a lot of those hezzy heaves to a three, it'll kill your percentage. Because my percentages when I'm just spotting up aren't bad at all. I don't even remember what they are, but it's in the higher 30s. But when I'm just 5 second, I gotta create something last minute heave, the numbers start to drop. And that's when I pan out as like a 32 or 33, average 3 point shooter. Whereas I could be way higher, but I was forced to heave a lot. So just shooting in mid ranges, three ball and mid ranges, three balls off the dribble.
So would you say you're a better catch and shoot right now than off the dribble, or it just all depends on the situation?
Oddly, it depends on the situation because my game is so weird. It's not just a set game. You can be like, you know what you're gonna get out of this DJ today. Because I might wake up one day and I can make 5 threes, or it might be a floater day. It's so weird because the game is all mental. Once my mind kind of made up, like, okay, they keep giving me the floater. I'm trying to get to that the whole game. Okay, they're short closing out because they'll live with me shooting. Okay, we finna see if I'm making threes today. Like, you can't just have a set thing. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now you dropping gems, man. Appreciate you. Like I said, you educating a lot of guards about stuff that guards just be trying to get downhill, and, jump into their body. You can't get that off in the higher
Mhm.
levels you go though, and they're not gonna call that foul
They're
too.
not giving you that call. They're not giving you that call.
Yeah.
They're gonna take you up if you think you're gonna talk crazy to them.
Right, right, right.
So
So
like they sitting in the post. That's what I didn't know. Me thinking NBA rules, of course. The bigs over there are those some big dudes. So they like 260, 6'9", 6'10", and they're standing in the post. I mean, they're standing in the paint because there's no 3 seconds on defense. So after you cook the first guy, you immediately have to worry about where the second dude is. And he's just standing there huge. And like I said, their athleticism is it's a big difference. So of course I can, twist my body to make a certain layup or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, just trying to jump into them and stuff, you're not getting that. It's no way. They're huge. So people who want to make that transition over there, you have to be able to think more than just layup because you're not going to get too many just flat out layups.
makes sense. Definitely makes sense, man. And like I said, what did you play circuit AAU, or like what was your AAU career like growing up?
So my AAU career was kind of like shaped me because I really didn't get the circuit opportunity. I played one tournament with Aloha Red, and that's kind of where like my first, honestly, yeah, that's where I picked up my first offer. That's where I went. I always had interest. I had a lot of decent D2s, but me, I set an unrealistic goal for myself so I can get over here. I was like, it's D1 or nothing. I was one of those kids, which is a terrible way to be. But, with my background, how I grew up, my family, et cetera, I had to set unrealistic goals for myself just to give myself something to chase, or I was going to be just kind of like everybody else just floating around here trying to figure out what they want to do.
Yeah, got you on that.
So, yeah, for sure, I had to set an unrealistic goal just in order to get it. When I played with Red, the last little tournament of my AAU life, I did decent, and I just got a whole bunch of buzz from mid majors, but they was just a little hesitant on pulling the plug. And then Alcorn pulled the plug, and I immediately was like, "All right, let's do this," knowing I was gonna have to work my way up, and that was cool. I played with Team One with Coach Sammy and Coach Brock. I played with QCP. We was decent. We was ranked in the state at the point in time, and then growing up, I played Ohio Purple under Nigel Madera. So it was good hoop. I always was in good hoops, but I didn't really go circuit ball for real.
Got you on that. Because like I said, it's like five circuits now. You got your
Hmm.
Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, Puma, New Balance. So like
Hmm.
that's five off rip. So like that's kind of confusing. Though. It's like, damn, we got all these circuits. Like, so like all the best players are not really playing, or obviously teams and players are not going against each other. So it's spread it out. And it's like, okay, I just was curious, like, how would you, navigate this now as a high school kid? Because high school recruiting is way, way different now from when you was in high school and when I was in high school. So like, how would
It's
you
getting harder.
yeah, right, right, right. So how would you navigate or start your career off now if as a high school student right now, trying to make it D1?
So okay, I would for sure put my kids in the circuit because those are the kids that get more of a benefit of a doubt. It's harder to just be that hidden gem that just gets found because with all the NIL stuff and everything, high school kids is kind of finna go. It's not finna go out the window because those high level high school kids still gonna get recruited. But colleges with this money involved, they need to win now.
Right.
So they're gonna be more willing to see what a JUCO kid has to offer or see what a transfer kid has to offer. The high school kids are falling down the ladder a little bit because the art of development is kind of going out the window. So high school kids need to know that, like, okay, unless I'm just that, what some of these kids do, just be that. They be that guy. So they need to know that coaches aren't necessarily willing to develop them how it used to be. Like, and that's even before my time. Like back in the day, you're a little older than me, so you get how big development was. Bring a guy in, we're gonna have him 2 to 4 years, 2 years if he real good. He might leave as a sophomore, junior, and we're gonna develop him and we're gonna get him out of here. Now kids trying to do 1 year at a low major, have a great year, transfer up, and then go to the next money move. So these high school kids have it hard. These kids need to basically start on the circuit as early as they can. Or, some people got real plugged in people in their corner. But I say start the circuit as early as you can and actually be somewhere where you're going to play. Not just don't go to a team just because you can afford it. Surround yourself with a whole bunch of 4s and 5 stars you're not playing. Somebody gonna see you and be curious about you, but what is that really doing for you? You're not really learning anything or nothing like that. I'm a big fan of AAU. It builds character. All that playing back to back, it just gets your body ready for a completely different world. But it doesn't do enough like ego humbling. Like people be needing to be humble before they actually go to college because even though I felt like I was a mid major or even a lower high major kid, when I got to my HBCU, it was dog eat dog. And they knew I was good, but they was just like, this freshman thing, you finna come in here and take minutes. Oh, they was at me. They was at me bad. And it probably would have been worse at a bigger school. So and that's gonna be the same for all these high school kids. It's getting way harder to get recruited nowadays. So unless you're a top 100 kid, like for the most part, you pretty much fighting for your life if high major and mid major is your goal. So that's my take on that.
No, for sure. That was definitely a great take because, like I said, it's it's a win now. So if you not have experience or your body is not ready either, like you said, the development, not
Hmm.
development is on and off the court too. So like your body's not ready, they might like he's talented, but
You know?
body not ready. So because you got overseas cats that's like some of the cats you probably won against that's younger are probably about to get go play NIL ball, and I'm gonna just call it NIL ball now instead of
Nah,
college
that's
ball.
real.
Yeah.
That's real.
So yeah, so it like I know you heard the ABA League, the ABA League.
Hmm.
So yeah, like the top ABA, he's going to North Carolina, the top scorer. He's like about 22 years old. So like
Hmm.
that high school, that's he's taking a scholarship from a high school kid or a JUCO kid. So
I didn't even name the internationals. I forgot. It's getting crazy. It was a younger guard on my team. He just turned 19 or just turned 20, one of the two. He didn't even really play for us. And he's about to go, I forgot where. He's about to go somewhere. It's a mid major. He's about to fry. Just I could tell from practicing, like he's way ahead of the kids coming in from the States, coming into college because he's been a pro basically since he was like 16. And over there in Lithuania, he's on the highest level team. So
mm-hmm.
even though he's not getting much burn, he's practicing against these guys every day. So he's just years ahead. He's way ahead. So these high school kids honestly have to step up because it's getting rougher. The internationals see the opportunity and they're not playing about it. It's about to be a way more internationals in NCAA and the NBA.
I agree because like I said, even with the kids that's training a lot, but they still don't know how to play basketball from like
Hmm.
just fundamental, like you said, fundamentally sound basketball. Like they probably got all the moves and gadgets, But like them Euro kids, they hungry too though. They kind of like the I almost say like the trench babies in the way. 'Cause they coming from nothing too. And
Honestly, they be in the trenches too. Honestly,
yeah,
that's no lie. If you see how, I wish you could like, I wish I had a picture on me like so I can show you how the apartments were set up where I stayed. They in the they in projects basically. Like these kids come from nothing. It ain't the same because our culture is different. So of course we're running around with drugs, guns, blah blah blah, etc. But like just their living situations and all of that, and they just be 100% about basketball. I know a little dude. He would not go to a party. He wouldn't even go to like a gathering because he was just like basketball, school, body, basketball, school, body, and his body was him taking an hour and a half each day to stretch and roll himself out just so he could repeat it again. Basketball, school, body, basketball, school, body. I'm just like, man, me at 18. No, I think yeah, I think LeBron was 18 or just turned 18. I'm like, me at 18, I'm chasing girls. I'm trying to party. I'm this, I'm that. I'm still doing my basketball stuff, but I didn't have that type of lock in. And if he got that type of lock in, I'm pretty sure most of them do. So
yes sir, yeah, yeah,
years ahead of me mentally, like he's probably gonna be better than me. And that's just how the cookie crumble. That's just how it is.
yeah.
That's crazy to me.
So with the young talent out there, did you play against a lot of young talent out there? Or was it like more like an older league in the LKL
It was a mix.
mix?
It was a decent amount of guys that was like in that 24 to 27 range for sure. It wasn't too many younger than that that was just like flat out playing and producing, but it was a decent amount. Like my team, like the median age range was probably like about my age, 25, and then we had two older guys that was like 30. I called them Gramps. That's my guy though. But
Yeah,
each team had like a. It depends on the team. Like the team we lost to in the finals, that's a more older team, so they was wore out. They just played a way more mature basketball than us and ended up beating us. And we was way more athletic in XYZ. But it's a pretty it's hard to explain. I'll call it if I could range it out, I'll say like 27, 28. It's about the league. So of course I was considered one of the younger guys, but I'm a COVID baby, so I'm kind of older than I'm supposed to be for real. I'm about to be the last of the bit that's older than what I should be. But then again, with the new JUCO rule, those kids gonna be older too because you get all those years. So I think it's weird. All the basketball is just farther away to make everybody older than what they should be.
right,
So
right,
everybody
right.
should be ahead, but people kind of gonna be behind because in their head, all they're gonna be thinking is, "I got time, I got time, I got time." You don't have time. Like time don't wait for nobody. So that league, like our point guard, no, not our point guard. We had a dude that went to Gonzaga, and he's been in Lithuania about 2 3 years, and I'm thinking like he been over here 2 3 years. He got to be way older than me. He got to be 28, 29. He's 24, and I'm like, dang. Like it's just throwing me how the times with everybody's like process is throwing everybody off. And over there, they be pro since they was 16. So a guy that you might think 30 because he's built like a 30-year-old, but 22, 23. I played against a whole bunch of them. So that's how that go.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty that's a good perspective for sure. So like I said, let's get back to the States, man. Growing up in Cincinnati, man. Like tell me about who put the ball in your hand, how was it growing up in Cincinnati, and just kind of go from there.
What's crazy is I put the ball in my hand. My mom said my first word was ball or second. My first word was a cuss word. My second word was ball. It's crazy. So it's like she took it and ran with it because I wasn't necessarily a crybaby, but when I had a ball in my hand, I was quiet. Or my grandpa used to have Jordan tapes. It was crazy because I'm not even really a big Jordan guy. I'm a fan of basketball, period. So of course you gotta love Jordan. But he used to have these old Jordan tapes on VCR. He used to put them in. I used to shut up. And they all kind of noticed it, and they were just like, all right, that's what he want to do, or that's what it seemed like he wanted to do as a kid. They bought me the little mini hoop, and I shoot on it until till quiet hours. And like I say, I grew up kind of, I wouldn't say unstructured, but I really didn't have the most rules growing up because my mom is a firm believer in you live and you learn. You're gonna learn from your mistakes, and you're gonna learn from your good and bad. So she kind of just let me shooting the house all day, shoot around until I was old enough to go outside. And I was old enough to go outside pretty early. By like 5, I probably could leave from in front of the house because I was like kind of ahead of my time. But everybody be feeling like they're ahead of their time. I was real live ahead of my time. I could run around my complex and she knew I was gonna come back because I was just running around trying to hoop all day or play little games and stuff like that. But with my family, my mama, she took the real initiative. She got me like a real hoop. Her and my grandma, they both had me a real hoop, so I had a hoop at both of their cribs, and I just shoot all day. And then I was playing rec ball by third grade, and I played one team. It was like Oak Hill rec team, and the coach just told me after the game, and he was just like, "Why are you out here?" And I'm like, "What you mean?" He's like, "You too good to be out here." And, I'm thinking the coach is complimenting me, but he was just like, "No, I'm serious. Like, this is not your level of basketball. What is you doing? You should be playing AAU." I didn't know what AAU. My mom didn't know what AAU because that's all I was mobbing with my mama. So she was just like, "All right, we're gonna look into it, see what it is." Whole time I'm playing rec ball, it's this whole other world of basketball out here called AAU. So we like, all right, we're gonna see what we can do. We do some looking around. We find a tryout. I go to the tryout and fry. I'm like, okay. So now I'm playing with this team called the Buckeyes. From there, we got to playing around, and I get accustomed to AAU, and I get better and better and better. And throughout all of this, we kind of bouncing around homes or whatever. For what? I don't know, but we didn't necessarily stay in one spot too long. So I'm trying to figure out my school situation basketball wise and like my AAU situation. So come fifth grade, we used to play against the younger Alaha purple team. They was a year younger than us. But they used to play up because they was that good. So we used to playing them and when you play people you never know who watching. So we in fifth grade, we playing the fourth grade team. The fifth grade team is watching the coach. And that's when I meet Nigel. And he just like, come over here, like basically just stole me from my team illegally for real. About the best with him. He's just stolen. He was just like, come over here. And everybody in the city knew that was the best team in the city, almost one of the better teams in the state. So he's like, come on, come over here. Woo, woo, woo. And I'm telling him just like, I gotta see what my mom talking about, gotta see if we can afford it. But I'm thinking about all these things. He just straight up told me, like, man, we got you. Come on. So that's when I started my like first stint of like higher level basketball as a young dude. And I just took it from there, honestly. So I went to 4 different high schools. I went to Don, Hughes, Winton Woods, and Mount Healthy. So bouncing around schools, I'm just learning different styles of basketball. And by senior year, when I went to Hughes and I met Wyatt, that was my first structured basketball in a sense because we're running plays, we're this, we're that. I'm just used to coming down iso ball. So after that, I just realized that I was under. That's when I really realized, like, okay, I got a chance to go to college. So I'm just like, all right, I told you the D1 or nothing thing. I'll go on a few D2 visits just because, as a kid, we want to go on the visits just to experience it. So I'll go on these visits and I'm just like, I could do better. So I go prep. I do a prep year. Once again, Nigel saving the day. He put together the whole Don situation. I went to Don, averaged almost 30. And I was still under recruited, but I had a lot of buzz from low majors, mid majors, cool. I'm just waiting on somebody to pull the plug so I can get my chance. Nobody pulled the plug. I'm like, okay. After when you're unsigned senior, you can play AAU again or whatever.
Yeah.
So I go to play with Red. I go to Red down in Florida. Few coaches see me. You know, I get a little love from I forgot who it was at the time. I know Miami has showed a little love, Miami, Ohio. Just the schools in the MAC conference, honestly, showed a little love. And then Alcorn, he was like, Alcorn State wants to offer you. I'm like, Acorn State, what is that? He's like, no, Alcorn. I kept saying Acorn. He's just like, I brushed it off because I'm just like, who is that? Like, being unknowing. So I left it alone. I go. And then I played my prep season after that because this was after the Hughes season. So after I played the prep season, the name come back up, Alcorn State. So I finally talked to the coach. He's like, I've been watching you this whole time. I just, I'm gonna come to a game and I want to see what you. He pops up to a game I didn't know he was gonna be at. of course, like that's how they do you. He been talking with coach. Coach ain't want to tell me. He pops up to a game, and it just so happened, like I say, every game is different. It just so happened to be a game I'm not necessarily just playing a certain way. But today, that specific game was a dunk game. I think I had like 6 or 7 dunks. So of course the athleticism, everything was there. He was just telling me, he was like, "Can you do anything more to dunk?" He was trolling me, of course, and I'm just like, "Yeah." He was like, "Dunking ain't everything. You're gonna be able to dunk like that at the next level." I was like, "Yeah, you're right." Whoop, whoop. And he just kept messing with me. So he stay in touch. He don't offer me on the spot or whatever, like re-offer me because he offered me back a year prior, and I brushed it off. He was just like, he called me on Christmas. It felt like a movie, even though it's not like one of those big schools. For me, not coming from much, he called me on Christmas. He just like, "Hey, blah blah blah, I want to offer you." Like, come on. Me in my head, I'm like, "This is my only offer. I'm going." Just told me like, "Okay, we're gonna offer you." Like, come on. Me knowing in my head, I'm like, "Okay, we're going." My uncle and everybody was like, "We gonna take the visit. Don't just commit." Even though I knew I was gonna commit, I'll go down there. I'll go down to Mississippi, and it's scorching hot. It's so hot, and it's like this back road to get there. You almost gotta take it like an hour. Okay. But I take this little long ride, and I'm just like, where I'm at, I'm in the country. So my mom was just like, "It's gonna be worth it. Don't worry." So we take this long hour ride out to the middle of nowhere, and we finally get there. It's nothing there, mind you, and it's like nobody there either for real. But the team's working out. So I go, and I just fell in love with the staff. They were real genuine. They had a coach from Atlanta named E. Davis. We had Coach OG, Coach DT, to Marcio. We had a bunch of guys that were just thorough guys. And my thorough is different than a lot of people thorough. Everybody be saying they want like an authentic coach, but I want people from where I'm from. So these coaches, like, they understand the type of kid I was. Even though I wasn't a trouble kid, they understand like it's certain things I'm just not gonna go for as far as like dealing with other guys. I ain't got a quick switch, but I could, you feel me? I could lose my temper a little bit sometimes if I feel a certain ways. I'm not scared to speak my mind. They all know I was a quiet dude. They said like that's one thing I had to work on, being like a ball handler or being a lead guard, because I don't like to talk much. I still don't. I got in trouble for that in Europe. Like, you just like, you don't talk. But I don't be feeling like it's nothing to talk about. But I
Uh,
met all of these guys. He said, "Well,
Not to cut you off. So you said in Europe they wanted you to talk more as well too.
yeah, they was big on
Okay.
that." I'm not a talker, and it's just things as the lead guard that you just have to do. You have to talk. You have to put guys in position. Yes, it's easy to be like, he should know where he need to be or this and that, but it's no. You gotta run the show, and it started since forever. Nigel used to say like, "You gotta talk. You gotta talk. You gotta talk." I just don't like talking. Just that's just how I am. Maybe I'm awkward like that. But when I first got there, that's what they were saying over at Alcorn. You're just saying you need to talk. You need to talk. So mind you, I've commit. Fast forward, I think I'm finna start. And 3 days before school starts, like the first day of school, we get a grad transfer come in. I didn't know what that was. So I'm just like, okay, this guy gets in. He's about 5'11", scrawny, but he can shoot. I'm just like, okay, like it's nothing. Mind you, though, he ended up one of the best scorers on the team. Like, he was one of them ones. But he stole my starting spot. So I'm just like, oh, this how this go. So okay, I was a little down. We had an okay season there, and the coach got let go. My guy Rob, love Rob to death, but they let him go. So I'm panicking because I'm just like, okay, I just averaged like 8 points as a freshman. I don't care how young you are. I'm like, 8 points is 8 points. What are you gonna do?
Facts.
I'm like, nobody's gonna want you because the 8 points is coming from, no knock to my school. I love my school, but it's Alcorn. 8 points at Alcorn don't hold as much weight as like a 8 points at, you know, a UC, or 8 points at a Akron or blah blah blah. So I'm just like, ooh, what am I doing? So I transfer. I put my name in the transfer portal. I get blown down by JUCOs. Okay, all the top JUCOs, they wanted me. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm just like, mind you, I got to go back to my wiring. When you think Cincinnati and JUCO basketball, it's not too often that people kind of make it out of the other end of that. When you go JUCO, off bat, I think end of your career because it's just like you go to JUCO. You know, people get caught in the mess, partying, get high, etc. And I'm just like, if I go JUCO, my life over. Like it's over with. And I end up talking and figuring it out. And I end up landing on Vincennes. I go to Vincennes for a year. Basically, I broke my ankle and I had to rush it back because I was that eager to get out of there. I was mentally, that was probably my lowest in Indiana. It had nothing to do with the coaches. Even though the coaches was real tough, I could take it. But I went out there, underperformed. The new coach at Alcorn came back to get me. But it wasn't just him. Like I said, the coaching staff was real thorough, and then he had kept the guy. And the guy kind of kept tabs on me, Coach E. Davis, and he had just extended his offer back out to me. So I went back to Alcorn, and I'm in my head. I'm like, everybody finna look at me crazy. Why did he leave, go JUCO, and come back? And Vincennes is a top JUCO. That's a great JUCO. I just underperformed. I only averaged like 9 or 10 points, something like that. But nobody really averaged more than that. I think everybody was kind of like somewhere in that range. But I ended up going back, and when I went back, it was up. I just clicked with the new staff. I killed it there, and then after I killed it there, I knew I could make a jump. So that senior season transfer portal, I knew it was going to be interesting because I had a lot of the mid majors after me, and I felt good about that. I was like, okay, if I got all these mid majors after me this early, maybe I could sneak a high major. And me, NIL wasn't a thing. I'm like the year right before NIL really took off, so I'm not even thinking about no pay. I'm thinking like I could finally show I could play on that level. And then of course, you know, in exhibition games, I done had a few flashes. Like I gave Baylor 19. I gave I could just keep going on and on and on. Like I done had a few games against these teams, so I'm like, I can hang. I gave Texas A&M 20. I'm like, I could just hang. So I'm thinking one of them was gonna swoop in on me, and they didn't. So I'm weighing my options mid major wise, and it comes down to like five schools. It comes down to Georgia State. Let me fix this. It comes down to Georgia State, Cal State Fullerton. Who was it? Georgia State, Cal State Fullerton, Detroit Mercy, Sam Houston, and it was one more. It's not slipping. Sorry, school, if you ever see this. But my dream school, not my dream school, the school I wanted to go to was Miami of Ohio. Cause it's right there at the crib. Because they swooped in on me. But it hurt my feelings a little bit how they did me. You know, it's a coach's game, so I get it. So basically he had swooped in on me talking great or whatever. I'm like, okay, as soon as y'all offer, I'm committing there because now I'm at home. And I wanted to spend my last year at home. Not saying it would have been good or bad, but just as an older guy, I've been away all college. Dude talked to me for he'd talk to me and then disappear. He'd go hot, go cold. So I'm thinking he gonna offer me. He talking to me, then he just disappeared. I'm just like, okay. It got to a point where I'm texting him to check on him. Like
yeah.
I'm like, I'm supposed to be the one to get recruited though. So kids don't ever do that. But as I'm going on these, I'm like, okay, can we set up a visit? He's just beating around the bush, like, yeah, we'll get to that. And so I start going on my real visits to the schools I'm telling you about. And he finally was like, okay, come on, let's set up the visit. Mind you, it's late at this point. I should have been signed. And I'm just like, oh, it clicked. I'm like, oh, they didn't get a guy they did. They didn't get a guy they wanted. My pride, I'm like, oh, it's over. I stopped responding, like, because like I really wanted to go there and play with my boy Darwishi. Darwishi was playing there that year. Darwishi Hunter, if anybody's ever looking
Bucket.
up some hoops, it's good. It's a bucket. It's real hoops. So I'm like, okay, I get to go play with Darwishi. The Ian Elmer kid was there. They was just a real good team with some familiar names. And he didn't take me, so I go on these visits. Cool. I'm like, okay, Miami's off. I go to my Georgia State visit. I love it. I move around. I lost my friend. My friend had died when I was going to the Detroit visit. Like right before I was finna hop on the plane to go to Detroit from Mississippi, I got a call that my friend had passed, so I checked out on Detroit. It wouldn't have been bad. I love Detroit, the city of Detroit, but I couldn't do it. So Detroit's off the board. So now we're down to Georgia State, Cal State Fullerton, and Sam Houston. I go to um I go to each of those. I love each of them. And once I finally go on my last one, I get a call from Georgia State. They was like, hey, Alan Payne went to Wynn Woods. I went there for high school with my freshman year. He like, "Lil bro, I'm calling to tell you, like, the guy just committed on his visit." I'm like, "What does this mean?" He was like, "That was the last spot." I'm like, "Oh, of course I was gonna go to Atlanta. Of course, I know I was gonna go to Atlanta. Like, I couldn't pass that up. That's the best of both worlds, both basketball and socially." So boom, that's off the board. Now I'm down to Sam Houston and Cal State Fullerton. And the staff at both were very thorough, but Sam Houston was in a better conference, like on paper. In my opinion, I think people sleep on the Cali ball, but the conference USA, that's good hoops too though. But the coach, so what happened was I had a surgery on my wrist. I needed to get one. So whatever school I went to, I was hoping they would take care of it. And they all were on board for the most part. But I'm talking to the guy at Sam Houston, and he just like, I'm just like, so I'm gonna still get a fair chance. Like when I come back, I can fight for some minutes. I ain't saying give me no minutes, but like I'll be the same dude. Trust me. But they don't know me from a can of paint. They just see my highlights in XYZ, so they can just be like, okay, he's gonna come back just as nice, just as this, just as that. It's a new coach. He used to deal with. He's used to dealing with circuit kids. He was one of the better coaches on the circuit. I forgot what team it was. If I said him, I'm 100% sure you'll know him. But he was making his transition into college, and he hit me with the what he said. He said something along the lines of basically he don't know if I get a fair shake with me having to have a surgery. Mind you, the head coach knew nothing of this conversation. Right there, I checked out though. I told my uncle, I'm like, I love it here. I'm not too far from Houston. I got a lot of people in Houston. But I'm just like, I don't know if I'm gonna get a fair shake for my last year. So I'm gonna just, it's over. I ain't gonna go here. So I'm like, okay. Cal State Fullerton. And I almost chopped Cal State because he did the same thing Miami did, but he owned up to it without me having to say it. He saw what I was hinting at, but he's just like, hey, we did kind of push you back. Just he kept it all the way thorough with me because he's from Cincinnati. The coach, the assistant coach over there is basically from Cincinnati slash Northern Kentucky. He was like, yeah, we kind of did push you back, well, which was wrong on my part because I could have kept it honest with you, but I've been hiring you, but they had a few guys that they wanted to see if they can get. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And I'm just like, all right.
Is that
And I
Coach
had
Ham?
to, coach
Okay,
him.
okay, okay.
So I had to throw my pride to the side, and I'm just like, okay, obviously you're not all these schools' first option. The only school like that I was like a first option for was Georgia State, and they were, and I think Sam Houston. I think Sam Houston. We just had a miscommunication there because after the Sam Houston situation with the assistant coach, the head coach called me and my uncle like not in a panic because it's a great program, not like as if they needed me. So I don't even want to put it like that. But he called the coaches like, whoa, I wasn't aware of this conversation. Like, of course he could. Like, yeah, like that's we recruiting him to score. That's his spot. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Like, we're not worried about the surgery. Let's get it done. And ooh, ooh. And once he had realized that the damage was already done, he was just like, all right. And that's why I mess with Coach Mudge over Sam Houston. He's solid. He's super solid. Like I hope more people go play for him. Honestly,
Good dude. Yeah,
and
met him
real
before.
good
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
You know him?
yeah. I met him just in the portal trying to recruit kids and all that. Yeah, he reached out one of those. So yeah, for sure.
Real thorough dude. He was like,
Yeah.
he almost talked to me like if it was a survey. He was like, man, I know it's not much I could say to get you here. I wish it was. If it is, let me know. Like joking with me. He was like, but with this being Coach White's first like season after dealing with AU kids, he was like, I wanna like you tell me what can we do better as a coaching staff because we can't be missing guys like this. Because coaches when they recruit, they get their little boards out and they recruit what they need for each spot. So of course they needed that that wing that could get a bucket. So and that was gonna close their recruitment. So he was just like, we can't be missing opportunities like this late. Like so, like tell me what we can do better as a staff. And the visit was perfect. That conversation, that short conversation I had with him, just kind of killed it. So I messed with Moist. We had chopped it up, and I got cool with some of their guys. I'm still cool with some of them now. But I ended up going out to Cal State, got through my little hand thing, had to get my range of motion and stuff back, and we had our struggles because I missed the whole summer. And it's weird as a player when you get with your guys early in the summer. What's the word? Y'all could kind of establish
Continuity or chemistry.
a chemistry in a sense, but like you could kind of establish like I'll call it a chemistry. You can establish a chemistry. Like you know who does what, who does this, who does that. Because I was asking some of my roommates in Cali, I'm like, because I'm just walking around in the cast for so long, just watching practice, whatever. When I, it's easy to look at a highlight or whatever, but you just like you ain't really on that. You worry about yourself. So I'm asking like, who did y'all think, or what type of dude did y'all think I was when I was just sitting on the sideline watching y'all with the cast? It was like honestly, we were just thinking you were just like a guy. We wasn't thinking you was like trying to be the guy. Like we didn't really know your role. So when I finally jumped into play, everybody's just like, "Oh, he has the ball in his hand." Like he's one of the guys they brought in to actually mesh with the other two or three that's been in the program for years. It kind of threw things off a little bit because we couldn't figure out when and who would take over or take certain shots when time need be. So we struggled early on, and we did all right. I think we went about 500, if not one or under. And then come a time like them last 7 or 8 games where I averaged like 27 or 28,
Going crazy. I remember that.
I
Yeah.
was just like, I don't care no more. Like people getting hurt, we haven't been able to figure this out. Let's go. And I just went on like a run. In that run, I saw it as like, this is my life right here. I was like, we're not that good. Teams in Europe look for winning players, of course. I'm like, we ain't winning. I gotta try something. If I'm not gonna win, my numbers gotta be crazy. So it was just a real crazy and efficient run. Like I wasn't just jacking either. So it was that run literally saved my life. That last little stint right there in Cali, it saved me. And I still got a job late. I didn't think I was gonna do nothing.
I'm gonna say this, man, because my first time going to Cali was to go see you and meet you play. So like first what was it? UC Santa Barbara. And you already know who on that team, AJ Mitchell. So man, you playing against AJ Mitchell, they like, yeah, you got NBA. I'm like, man, you busted this at you had like 30, I want to say almost 30 in the first half that game. Like you was going,
I had a dub at the half.
yeah, he was
Fire.
going crazy. Yeah, he was going crazy. And he probably had like 16. But that's when I was like, hey man,
No,
yeah.
no, he ain't had that.
Hey, he had that. Oh, okay, how was he at? Like 12.
No, he finished with like I think he finished with like 12,
12.
11.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Cause it was like a quiet game. Cause I blew him out
Mhm.
though. But I was just like, damn, I'm like, if they talk about him, I'm like, what about you? Cause like, I was just like, man, you were just putting up, you were just going at him. And every time I see him play, I just think about that game. I'm like, man, how the hell is he in it? Like, he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but like, I'm
He's
just thinking like,
nice. You think how I think though. He's
yeah,
super nice. And I'm just like, and this is it came down to an Asian thing, and no knock to my guy, but like he had asked me like what's my goals and my aspirations or whatever. And I'm just like, I want to see the world and play basketball. So I wanted to travel. I wasn't necessarily like, hey, I want to try the NBA or this. But if I would have told him that, I for sure could have got some workouts and
for
whatever,
sure.
whatnot, like for sure. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
but like me thinking, I'm thinking he gonna try it off bat, but he didn't necessarily try. And that's where we had butt heads. And I'm just like, yeah, I told you, like, I want to go to Europe or whatever. But like, I'm gonna talk to a few guys. Like, I'm obviously worth a few workouts. Like, let me try. Like, I'm not
yeah,
saying I'm gonna be mad if I don't. Let me try. Let me do a little summer league. Let me cook. And I know, like, I swear, I be seeing these guys get 15 minutes in the summer league is all I need. 15 minutes is 7 shots. I'm a fry. Few free throws. I'm gonna get a few steals. I'm gonna have a me day, and I might not even get like an NBA roster, but boom, I would have cooked that. Probably got a G spot and just work my way up. But I'm content with how it's going now, so I can't be mad. I can't even be mad at him.
yeah. Cause like I said, man, every time I see him play, I think about you, bro. I be like, damn, bro. Like how? Like I just will never. I swear, every time he on TV, summer league when he was in the finals, I'm like, bro, I seen him bust. Like I seen you bust his ass. Like just I seen it in person though. So
Man,
that's just
I took that matchup so personal. When they was
yeah,
recruiting me, that was the like one of the pitches. He just like, yeah, we got AJ Mitchell in this league, and he's this, he's that, whoop, whoop. And I'm watching him. I'm doing my little. Of course, I'm gonna watch the competition. I'm like, okay, he's nice. Like I was like, I'm watching the film and stuff. I'm like, okay, he's nice. I can't wait to see him. That's my take on it. I'm like, he's nice, but I can't wait to run into him. And they ain't beat us not once the whole season. And it's like I'm just like in my head, I'm like, okay, not saying I want to. I'm like, if we lose every game, I'll be alright if I get that one. Because they
Yeah,
just he's just that's all you hear. So I couldn't wait to get that one though. That's why I was personal though. You
yeah,
probably know
man.
it. It had to be personal. Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, man. But like I said, you feel like back to like you said, people don't really know too much about the Big West, the West Coast Conference, the WCC. Like that's some good basketball. Like we just said, he got drafted out of that league. So like,
That's good hoops. That's great hoops. Like people, when you hear West Coast, you think they're off bat. You'll think they're soft. That's just the brand of basketball that you hear. They're soft, but they're very skilled. Man, that was good hoops, and it was physical for real. Like ain't nobody really. It's different though. I'm delivering the blows just because that's just what I was on. So like I could just cool. The physicality was nothing. So I probably agree. Like it is a little softish, but like as far as just the flat out hoops schemes, that's a great ball if you want to prepare for the next level. Like that's not a mid-major conference that should be slept on. If you look at a lot of their non-conference wins, they just snuck a few guys. Like a guy in a team in our conference snuck Michigan. Um, I think somebody got in a dogfight with USC. Like it just kept happening. I'm just like, okay, maybe we are better as a conference than I thought we would be. Like,
yeah,
caught me off guard.
yeah. Like I said, that jump from the SWAC to the Big West, I think that benefited your career a lot, just from like a marketability. Like, oh, hold on, we're going against NBA prospects,
Hmm.
better coaching, better facilities. Like, you're on TV more too. So like, I feel like people can learn from your story of like kind of starting from a lower level and just moving up, and now look at where you at now. Though. So like that's why I wanted to have you here on like to explain like it's different routes to get to where you want. Everyone doesn't start from a highly touted school, or some 50 top 50 kids gotta kind of take your route too, kind of go to a lower level, then kind of move back up to mid major or power five. So like I said, everybody's routes is different
I just want kids to like, cause I've been talked to a few kids since I've been back in the city. That's like what I do in the summer. I talk to some kids and tell them because you never know which kids are going to hear you. And now I'm at like an age where I could talk to kids and actually give them a little bit of how it went for me. And honestly, in my opinion, it just come down to who gonna keep going. Like you don't have to be a certain level of good or a certain talented. It's just about who keep going. Like what I notice about kids in Cincinnati, they have stopped because they have family problems, they might have financial problems, etc. Same stuff I went through, but I was just like basketball my way out. Why would I stop? And I live by that. Like by all means, I done had like I say, I don't no cap, not even a TMI. Like we done went homeless before. And I'm still going to basketball practice. Like you gotta do what you gotta do if that's what you want. So it's like
facts
I stood on that, and like I say, the unrealistic dreams or the unrealistic goals, those are serious. You got to set those, and it's bigger than basketball. So with anything people want to do, you got to set an unrealistic goal for yourself and use that as something to chase.
for sure. And like I said, what's some advice you would tell yourself to help you down the line now though, or like more kids in your position?
Don't blow the opportunities presented to you, thinking you got more. I always used to think like, okay, I'll get another opportunity at this, or I get another shot at this, or I might meet this person again. I might play in front of this coach again. Um, and when I was younger, I had a real bad temper, like almost crash out temper. So I used to just check out and be like, all right, I'm gonna get this chance again. I got out of that probably by like seventh grade when I got real mellow and, as they like to say, I'm more so nonchalant because life is that deep, but a lot of stuff don't be that deep though. But you gotta. My advice would be to seize the moment. I let a lot of moments pass, and luckily it panned out for me. And it could have been way worse, but just don't let a lot of opportunities pass because opportunities are a dime of a dozen. You don't get too many certain level of opportunities, so take advantage of the ones you got.
Most definitely, man. Like I said, man, I appreciate you coming on here and taking time to tell about your story. And I definitely want to get your insights as a player that just left, just got done his rookie year, and like just talk about how the game is now, because like it's a lot has changed since you left, dog. And so that's all I was like, hey man, what's your thoughts on this? Because I feel like, man, you a 6-figure guy. If you had like another year or two in college, though, just like not even just saying it because I know like this.
No, that's real.
Just
That's
off of
real.
like numbers, like just like I see, like I was when I was recruiting you for pro, I was like, damn, like you need to get like some G League or like you said some workout just because like just from what I've seen though, because like you a scoring guard, so hey, it all panned out. You in A2 now, like that's one of the best leagues in the world though. So
No, we in the they first one.
oh first one, oh my bad,
Yeah,
A1, yeah, okay,
they
A1.
just
So that's
moved up. Luckily, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, then I looked at it. They told me it's like, hey, this is our first year back in 15 years. I'm oh, this
damn.
the real bump.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's even better. Yeah, that's even better, man. Because like I said, hey, the sky's the limit. Cause shit, you still can get them NBA looks just killing overseas though. So like, or
mm,
Euro League, the game is growing a lot. So like I said, hey, just keep doing what you do, man. I've always been following your game since your senior year. So you a natty kid too. Always trying to, we just trying to grow the Midwest, man. Midwest don't get enough love.
that's
They always talk
real.
about the East and West. I'm like, nah, the Midwest, that's where the best hoopers and competitors is at, in my opinion. So definitely love you. Appreciate you coming on. And like I said, yeah, go kill out there in Italy though, for sure.
Much love. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Like I said, man, that's another episode. And hey man, stay hungry and humble, man. We're gonna be keeping an eye on you though out there, though. Like I said, I can see all the film on synergy though. So
It's
guys.
on.
But all right, man. Appreciate you though, man.
Yeah.